All right, you guys are going to have to calm me down tonight because I'm super excited, super fired up about this win. Giants win 3-0. They beat the Blue Jays. They win the first game of this big road trip for them, and it's their 10th straight road win. For the first time in their San Francisco era, and the first time in franchise history since 1952, the Giants have won 10 consecutive road games. Unbelievable. When you're talking about what's going on with this team, we're starting to get into historic stuff. I mean, the Blue Jays, that's only the second time the Blue Jays have been shut out all year. And we talk about the opener and how that's been effective, and Ryan Walker tonight was my MVP in a 1-0 game for a long time till the big Thairo Estrada hit. I mean, Ryan Walker had first and third, nobody out in the top of the first. You can win a game, lose a game in the first inning. And he struck out 3 consecutive Blue Jays. The crossfire right-hander, awesome tonight. We can get into Thairo Estrada being an all-star. But, like, of all the games I've seen in a while, and there's been some great come-from-behind wins where you're fired up, this one to me had, I don't want to say a playoff atmosphere, but a playoff in the sense that's how you win playoff games. Well, you know, you have runners in scoring position, and it's just whoever blinks first, whoever makes a mistake first. And the Giants just, their bullpen was nails. And what we're talking about with this team is really, really cool stuff. I mean, Thairo Estrada with a big hit. We're going to talk about Thairo Estrada as an all-star tonight. I want to talk about Tyler Rogers as an all-star tonight. I think he needs to get a little bit of love for what he's done. He got some big strikeouts tonight in Toronto. I'm trying to get to the box score real quick. I had it up, but I needed that stat first. But the Giants win 3-0. And Tyler Rogers, let me get to his numbers real quick as I vamp here to get to it with the box score on MLB.com. He pitched an inning and 2/3 tonight. He gave up 1 hit, threw up a goose egg, struck out 4 Blue Jays. It was his 17th hole of the year. His ERA is at 1.79. Like, the Giants have the best bullpen in baseball, arguably, right now. And to go into Toronto, into a ballpark where the ball flies, into a team that swings at strikes, takes balls usually, a team that can hit home runs, a team that has a pretty good offensive ball club, and to shut them out for only a second time this year. I mean, Alex Wood had some of his best stuff we've seen this year. He went 5, gave up 5 hits, struck out 7. Then Tyler Rogers, to me, was the MVP tonight, and Patrick Bailey. We're going to get into a lot of Patrick Bailey talk. So 808 KNBR, if you're watching the game and you're as excited about that win as I am. Because, you know, anytime you play an American League East team, that's the division in baseball. By the way, update from Arizona, the Diamondbacks are up 6-4 against the Rays. And that game is only in the 3rd inning. So stay tuned. You know, they're playing Tampa. That's a big series. So if the Giants can capitalize here, and I know it's June, like, slow down, FP, it's June. But, like, to me, I said this last night, when you're 10 games over 500, that's when you either leave 500 in the rearview mirror and say, see ya, bro, or you go back to 500 and you're 4 games over or 5 games over, and then you're just kind of like having a decent season. But when you get to 10 games over, now you can get to 12, 13, 14, 20, you know, as we get into July. I think the schedule favors these guys, but, you know, 1 game at a time, just go 1-0 every single day. So the Giants go to 17-6 in the month of June. That's the second best winning percentage in baseball behind the Braves, who are 18-4, the hottest team in baseball. And like I said, to win on the road like that, to go into an environment like that in Toronto and win 3-0 and shut out a good team, this is what great teams do. Great teams win the close baseball games. Great teams win the playoff games. And when you talk about what Thairo Estrada did tonight, can we get back on the Thairo as an all-star thing? He kind of disappeared for a few minutes. Probably, I don't know, he's tired. He's probably fatigued. And all of a sudden he comes back tonight, and he's down in the order. I think he hit 6 tonight. He goes 2 for 4 with a big hit in the 9th inning to give them a little bit of cushion, give them the 2-run lead, or the 3-run lead to make it 3-0. But the stolen base to me after his first hit to get on the board, and then Patrick Bailey's, what is he, 23 going on 33, 34? Like, when's he going to retire? I mean, that's when you watch this guy play, the game is moving so slow for him. The throw he made to second tonight was amazing. Just kind of a slingshot throw to get Whit Merrifield trying to steal second base. Unbelievable stuff we're seeing from Patrick Bailey at the moment. Whether it's the clutch knock to drive in Thairo to give him a 1-0 lead, whether it's the framing job. Like, he pulled up so many strikes from down below the strike zone tonight. And just watching, if you want to really lock into a Giants game on TV, just watch Pat Bailey behind the plate. Just watch him frame pitches. Just lock in on his glove for, I don't know, 2-3 innings. Don't follow the baseball. Don't watch the windup. Just watch how he sets up. Watch how subtle he is with his glove, how many strikes he's stealing. And then the throw tonight. Would it be me getting carried away tonight, which I've been blamed of many times in my life, to think that Patrick Bailey deserves all-star consideration? He's hitting .320. He's catching the hell out of it. He's throwing the hell out of it. He just rode another opener shutout. I think his last one was in Milwaukee with 6 pitchers when he first got called up. And that was impressive to me, too. And how about if you're a Blue Jays hitter tonight, facing Ryan Walker, stepping into your own dugout if you're a Blue Jay, doing a hook shot slider, hook shot fastball, throwing behind right-handers. And then here comes another funky guy in Alex Wood with all kinds of elbows and kneecaps coming at you. And then after that guy, Alex Wood goes, Alex Wood was the bulk guy tonight. We got to come up with a nickname for the bulk guy. 808 KNBR, what are we calling the bulk guys? We need a nickname. And then here comes Tyler Rogers from down under, throwing risers and sliders and striking out 4. And then behind him comes Camilo Duvall throwing 100. Like, if you're a Blue Jays hitter tonight, that's a rough ride. I talked to a Blue Jays broadcaster last night, Joe Siddle, and we were talking about the opener and the bulk innings. And we were both commiserating as former hitters that I would not like to face, 4 different pitchers a night with 4 different arm angles coming out of nowhere. So really, really good stuff. Give Gabe Kapler an A+ again tonight for the way he does these. He's so good at these. Like, literally, for those of you that don't like Gabe Kapler, I mean, he deserves a lot of credit right now. He's managing the hell out of this ball club. He's getting the most out of what he's got. He's making the rookies comfortable. The veterans are making the rookies comfortable. They're all contributing right now. And it's really, really fun to watch. So the Giants are 17-6 in the month of June. The only team better is the number 1 ranked team in baseball. They came out with the power rankings yesterday, and the Braves overtook the Rays for the first time. So throughout the course of the game, I'll give you updates. I know it's June. It's late June, though, of the Diamondbacks Tampa Bay score. The Giants move within 2 games of the Diamondbacks with that win. So if the Diamondbacks lose tonight, they're a game and a half out of first place, which would be super cool. And it's okay to believe in this team. It's really okay to let your guard down. If you're thinking, well, I don't know, let's see what happens at the trade deadline. I just not sure. You can be sure this is a really good baseball team. Let's go to Sam in Arizona. Sam, you're going to lead us off tonight. You're on KNBR. What's going on?
Hey, man. I got to call and apologize. I called you, I don't know how long ago it was. It was after the Detroit series, and I told you that this team couldn't compete, and I told you that that I thought that they couldn't compete with the Reds, which apparently I was wrong on that too. But the main thing is that, what I said on that call was I was really worried about the guys that they signed being injury prone and all of that, which has proven to be the case. What I didn't anticipate is how awesome the bullpen has pitched and how good the young kids that have come up have played. And like I said, I was pretty negative when I called last time, and when I heard that you were on tonight, I'm like, I got to call and apologize.
No, you're a good man, Sam, and it's okay, man. Fan is short for fanatic, and if Giants fans were pissed when the Giants were in Detroit and they were losing to the Tigers, I get it. What did I say to you is what I want to know. I can't remember back that far. I can't remember yesterday, dude.
You said to be patient and to give it. You said, we were in, I swear, I think we were in early to mid-May, and we had been maybe 40 games worth, and they just looked terrible. I did not count on Bailey. I didn't count on Matos. Bailey's been Buster Posey-like.
Yeah, no, dude, I can even say. Sam, nobody counted on Bailey, so don't beat yourself up about that. I saw Patrick Bailey catch like 2 innings in spring training. It's like, And then I remember being a buzzkill filling in for Papa with John Lund, and he was like, Patrick Bailey's called up today. I'm like, well, they're not all going to be Casey Schmitz. Man, was I wrong on that. This kid's an all-star. Like, it's JT Realmuto for me, and Patrick Bailey is the 2 best catchers in the National League. And now I could be getting carried away. I know Will Smith is this and that, but I'm watching this kid catch every night. I'm watching a sidearm off-balance throw be right on the money to get a really good base stealer. I'm watching frame pitches, get clutch hits, hitting .320. Why? I know he got called up late is the only knock against him, but why not Patrick Bailey for the All-Star team?
Yeah, no kidding. And the way he receives and frames and the fact that some of the starters have basically said, we'll let him call the game. I know he looks into the dugout, but they trust him. And again, not to put the Posey tag on him, but he reminds me of him in terms of his confidence and just the way he goes about his business.
So here's the thing, Sam. We don't need to compare people to Buster Posey. He's Patrick Bailey, and that's good enough right now, right? Because I know it's easy, right? Because Buster was a Hall of Famer, the 3 World Series. We love him. He's a beloved figure. But I think we got to let that go and always have Buster Posey in a Tupperware when we want to smile on a day where we're kind of feeling bad. But right now, Patrick Bailey's Patrick Bailey, and that's enough. There doesn't have to be any comparisons to anybody else. This kid's a switch hitter. He's riding winners every night. He's throwing guys out. I bet you his plus minus as a catcher is off the charts. He's framing up at least 10 to 12 50-50 balls every night into the strike zone. And he commands the game. There's little things you look for from a catcher back there. And even with the pitch clock, the tempo, how quick he appeals a check swing, just how he throws the ball around on a strikeout. Everything he does oozes confidence. It oozes, I'm in control of this game. And I think everybody standing on defense, and especially the guy 60 feet 6 inches away from him, feels the exact same thing.
Yeah, he's been unbelievable. And I guess the only other thing is that when you look at some of the other young kids that they brought up, Patrick Bailey, I don't know the date he came up, but they have won. They've been on this win streak with him behind the dish most of the time, and the other kids they brought up have been pretty damn impressive. So anyway, I owed you that. I appreciate you kind of preaching the patience. I just didn't see it, and I just didn't know enough about their farm system, to be honest with you, to see who was behind the guys that were getting injured. You
know what, Sam? It's super hypocritical about me preaching patience. I have none. Like in my everyday life, I've just been around baseball a long time, and it's like literally the season is the only thing I have patience with, because I've seen teams come from behind. I've seen teams start out hot and everybody gets excited and then, go in the crapper. So like if you're with me in my car, like no patience. If I'm standing in line at the grocery store, no patience. Like I have zero patience. I've tried to work on it. I drive people nuts with the fact that I don't have patience. But the one place that I do have patience is the baseball season. So yeah, I think we all could do better. You know what it is, Sam? We have this not to get too deep, but in our society today, everything's right now. Even football games once a week, like here comes a football game, and we have a football game mentality. And if the Giants lose one game, the season's over, and everything's real time on our phone. It's like click, 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 Instacart. Everything's a click away, and here's the groceries on our front step. And now, maybe back in the day in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, baseball fans had patience because it was kind of fun. It was the summer. It was the pastime. And now, as a society, we have no patience. And so to have patience in a sport that really, really you need patience is kind of tough to come by. So don't beat yourself up. I would, venture to guess that most Giants fans and most baseball fans don't have patience just based on how we live our lives right now.
Well, and I bet most don't call when they
yes,
when they were as young as I was. So
Sam?
I'm not trying to pat myself on the back, but I told my wife, I said, I got to call because they have been, it's night and day from the way they were for the first 35 to 40 games. The first 40 games looked like a team that was going to be a last place team and didn't look like they had anything to energize them. And that is completely different than the team that's on the field right now.
Sam, I forgive you. Say 2 Hail Marys and call me tomorrow.
Thanks,
I appreciate it. You're forgiven, my son. Let's go to that was nice. That's nice. I bet you 85 to 90% of people that called and wanted Gabe fired and Farhan fired and this team sucks, I'm never watching it, will not call this show. So give Sam credit. Sam, you're forgiven, my son. Let's go to Gabe in Brentwood. Gabe, we'll take this call first, Jacob. Gabe in Brentwood, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
Hi, my name's Gabe Vaughn. I'm the host of the YouTube channel Giants Baseball 101. And right now...
Dude, you called last night, dude. This isn't your show, dude. This is a show for the fans that listen to the show every night. You call and you try to do your own YouTube show on here. And, dude, if you want to call and talk about the Giants like a human being, let's do it. But last night you just ranted and did this whole read because you're trying to do your show on my show. I'm not for that, dude. I'm for the people. The show's about the people. So if you want to call and talk about the Giants and what you saw tonight and about the game and you're excited about this team, I'll let you talk all night, but I'm not letting somebody come on my air and do their own show.
Sure, I'm talking about the fact that the Giants have overtaken the Dodgers and all of the ramifications of that. Anyway, my question is, how many times do you think the Giants and Dodgers are going to switch positions in the National League West? How many times is that league going to change? And how closely is it going to reflect 2021 down the stretch? I totally expect that this is going to be a real hot battle here.
Yeah, me too. Gabe, thanks for calling, man. If you want to call and just be like a human being and not a robot, we would love to have you on the show every single time. Going to take a quick break. 808 KNBR is the number. Yeah, just come on and be a human being, dude. Don't try to come on and do your YouTube show on 50,000 watts on KNBR. I don't even know if that's legal. I might have to call a legal department and see, like, you come on here and just start reading off script and you're gonna like copy it and put it on Instagram and Twitter and do your own show off of our show. Hey, I'm giving you a forum to like be a fan and to like show your emotion and to be a human being, not a robot. So KBR is the number. Giants win 3-0. If you missed it, it's their 10th consecutive road victory, the most in San Francisco history and the most since the 52 New York Giants. We're dealing with history, folks. This is a big deal. Tonight was a big win. We'll talk about it next on the Sports Leader.
Now the pitch is swung on and missed. He struck him out to end the inning. So after getting in trouble, a double and a single, first and third, nobody out, he strikes out 3 straight Blue Jays. No runs.
I told Jake to play any song that has a road in it tonight because the Giants just won their 10th consecutive road game. That's the most in San Francisco history and the most since the 52 New York Giants. So we have some history going on here, folks. What's happening is very special. And just to recap, if you're just getting in your car, they won 3-0 tonight. And it just had a playoff like game type feel. I don't know about the atmosphere. I know it's June, but like you guys know, 10, 12, and 14, like playoff games are they're high anxiety, man. It's like every ground ball, every hop, every call by the umpire, every strike or ball call, every part of the game is huge and it's super intense. And you kind of felt that way tonight. Now, 1-0 nail biter, and the Blue Jays, you know, I think they were 1 for 12 with runners in scoring position, something like that. They had their opportunities. But the Giants in this opener stuff that I think we all were kind of scratching our heads about a couple of years ago or maybe when it first started, I mean, it's working because you have the Bolt guy, whatever you want to call a Bolt guy. Alex Wood was fantastic tonight. He went 5 innings, gave up no hits, or he gave up 5 hits, no runs, and struck out 7. And it was that's how you win playoff games. You go on the road, you do your thing. And good teams, and I've always said this, good teams, I don't care where they play. They can play in the Costco parking lot and they're going to win a game. They can play at Oracle in front of 40,000 people and win a game. They can go to Miami against the Marlins in front of 3,000 people and win a game. It doesn't matter. Good teams win wherever. And that's what the Giants are doing right now. They're 17-6 in the month of June. They've won 13 of their last 15. That's only the second time the Blue Jays have been shut out all year. They were shut out last week 11-0. And that, you know, when you get shut out 11-0, it's kind of like you shut it down, you're getting your ass kicked, and you take it to the house. The last thing they want to do is get shut out tonight. It was an enjoyable game, and for some reason, and maybe you guys can help me with this is like the most excited I've been about a Giants win, and that's including the games that I did on the road where they'd come from behind and and down to the last strike, and in Denver when they came back against the Rockies a couple of times, and St. Louis when they came back, and this team just they're grindy, like Jock says, they're gritty, and they fight. When we think about Giants teams of the past, this has been the MO. It's put your hard hat on, get your thermos, put in your lunch pail, and go to work. Find a way to win with pitching, defense, and we're going to grind out at bats. And that's what these guys are doing right now. We've seen this movie before here. I'm not saying there's going to be a parade on Market Street, but there could be a parade on Market Street. Who knows? You start going to the American League East on the road in the best division in baseball, and you start beating people on the road in the best division in baseball. I think I just said that. Repeating myself. It's a good win. Oh, you guys, by the way, best listeners in sports talk radio history. I'll put you up against any show on any station ever. I love you guys like we're family at this point. We've been together for over a year now. We have our own little community here at night. And I think it's a big community. If you're not listening to the show, you're missing out because we have a blast every night from 6 to 10 p.m. or after a Giants game. But you guys have my back so much on that last call. I went into the other side of the glass. I told Jacob and Kyle, I was like, that's the most mad I've gotten at a caller since I've been back for a year and a half. I love you guys. I never get pissed at a caller, but don't use our show to plug your own thing. So I'm going to read you all the texts that came in. There's a lot of them, so stay with me. The 415 saying, good stuff, baby. Let me see. The 510 saying, what a douche. The 925 chiming in, plugging your own YouTube channel. The Nerve. Unfollow that guy. Good job, FP. Gabe, what a douche. You go, FP. That's from the 530, and they're not talking about the skipper for the Giants. That was the guy that just called. CHP Joe said, well said, FP. Way to handle YouTube, boy. That's from the 510. I thought it was weird enough last night. And by the way, yes, I let him go last night. And I'm just sitting here going in the talk back going, what is this guy doing? What are we doing here? The 209 chiming in, FP, great analysis and recap of today's game. Your show is easy to listen to and always interesting. Thanks. Thank you for saying that. Where are we at here? I got to just go right down the list. We have tons of calls. I'm going to get to you guys. Stay right there. 530, are you kidding me? He couldn't come up with on the road again. That's to you, Jacob. Hey, leave Jacob alone. He's doing the best he can. He just did the whole game, and now he's got to listen to my ass after John Miller. That's got to be tough for anybody. The Giants are crushing the opener. Yes, 510. Thank you. FP, you did the right thing. He was irritating. This ID for FP. I love his show. FP, please tell your buddy Joe Siddle to tell the play-by-play Ben that it's Camilo, not Camilo. The Eastern guys don't know much. How do you say his first name? I always say Camilo, but then Joe Rizzo says Camilo. I don't know. How do you say his first name? I think if you say Camilo fast enough, it comes out Camilo. I don't know. Anyways, let's get to the phones. Thanks for all the support and love on the text line. 808 KNBR. You can text me and call me. I love to talk to you guys. I'm old school. Let's go to Big Ern in Marin County. Big Ern, you're going to lead us off. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, SP? Big props to these Giants. And I'm a passionate Giants fan, date back to the 80s. I'm 47 now, and man, I don't, like you said, a lot of people are like afraid to let the guard down, but my guard is down. I was a little skeptical earlier in the season, but I know my Giants, they're slow starters, but they're just like a high-performance engine. You got to let them warm up, and then they'll be firing in all 8 cylinders. This team is showing a lot of synchronicity. You know, the gritty. I mean, they're just these young guys. It thinks back to when let these young guys play back in the 80s. I feel like history repeats itself. Young guns, man, young blood, and they're not folding. They're not bending. They're. I feel like the young guys are feeding off the veterans, and the veterans are feeding off the young guys. That's just my take on this whole 2023 season.
I think you're right, Big Ern. I absolutely think it's the infusion of the young kids, and then the veterans are feeding off that. There's a good synergistic energy in the clubhouse right now. Carlos Ramirez just texted me. It's an audio message. I'm sure he's going to tell me it's Camilo, but I have trouble pronouncing names like Carlos does. He's so perfect at it all the time. Thanks, Carlos. Let's go to Steve in Bend, Oregon. Steve, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm with the Hoboken Auto Trader. I have a YouTube channel.
Tell me about it, Steve. Tell me about your YouTube channel. We're here to facilitate your career.
You know what's funny is I couldn't articulate why that guy bothered me, and you did it so well. That call last night, I was listening to him and go, why is this guy irritating me?
I let him go last night, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to let it happen tonight. Not again. You're not doing your show on KNBR. If you want to do your show on KNBR, be better at what you do and take my job. Then you could do 4 hours every single night. But you're not coming on my show to promote anything. Unless, of course, you're a guest on the show and you say, hey, so tell me about your book. But not just to come on all willing. This show is for you guys. This show is for the fans. Yeah, it's our show. I've been saying that since day one when it came on May 31st last year. This is our show. I don't want to talk for 4 hours. I want to hear you guys talk. I want to get the finger on the pulse of the fan, whether it's a Warriors fan, a Niners fan, a Giants fan, a sports fan, just a life fan, like whatever. So, yeah, don't come on here and promote anything. I think we've made our point. Gabe, I don't think Gabe will be on the show anymore. Steve, what do you want to talk about? Do you think this is a championship team?
This reminds me a lot of 2010. And back in 2010, a lot of things happened where it could have gone sideways. I recall a few pickoff attempts. The ball went to right field. I recall the Padres being stuck with bases loaded, runners in scoring position. It was like 17 or 18. Now tonight it could have gone sideways in the first inning with Walker, but it didn't. It could have gone sideways on that ball to Conforto that clanged off his glove, but it didn't. The Giants did not come undone. I think somebody's made the comment it's a perfect blend of rook and veterans, and that they're all given the chance to be successful and step up. And then you look at just the little things like working Gosman, even though, Wade had the golden sombrero, and struck out 4 times, and Jock Peterson struck out 2. They worked them. They worked a lot of 3-ball counts. So this reminds me a lot of 2010. Anyway, great show. I'm going back to my Hoboken Auto Trader.
Thanks, Steve. You can find Steve at Hoboken Auto Trader at HobokenAutoTrader.com. Somebody with a Timber Tech joke on the line. By the way, DC, I was doing a game. I think it was Detroit. And I may or may not have had a few cocktails the night before. And then I came into the booth and DC put that Timber Tech read in front of me. I had no idea it would be on our air 700 times a day when I just like blew through that read. So I hope the people at Timber Tech are happy, but I could have done a way better job on that read if you guys give me another chance. Let's go to Gordon in Redwood City. Gordon, you're on KNBR. What's up?
Hey, Frank, it's good to talk to you, man. I've been listening to you for a good while, and I really appreciate the good vibes and your play-by-play. With, you and Joe, your voices blend together real good, and I really appreciate your play-by-play and working with Joe.
Thanks, man. It's been an honor to be a tiny part of it and to try to learn my craft in front of the best fans in baseball on the fly. But yeah, thanks, Gordon. It's been fun, and I think I'm doing a game in Pittsburgh coming up, and then I'm going to Atlanta in August. So I have 4 more games on the docket, and I'm super excited for the opportunity. Can't thank the Giants enough, and KNBR.
Well,
and Timber Tech. Everything should be. Sorry.
Okay, well, and you're doing ads. You're doing ads. Hey, this is and I recognize your voice. I'm going to turn off the microwave. Yeah, I recognize your voice doing the ads, and the ad reads sound really good. But what I really wanted to talk to you, Big Earn stole my thunder about the Giants. So, Big Earn covered it. I agree with him completely. The Giants are on a roll. I think of this road trip, they might just keep winning games. But I wanted to run this by you. On Sunday, I sat down. I listen to all the games on the radio. So I thought, well, look, I don't even know what these guys look like. Let's watch the game. So I'm sitting here watching the game. This is a big game, playoff contention, tough Arizona team, right? And I'm watching the game, and then every other second, the camera is switching into something going on in the stadium. Like some kids are crawling through the cable car. Okay, great. Okay, the next, even in between pitches, the camera is focusing into the crowd. There's some people waving. Okay, that's great. Okay, let's get back to the game. And then, it's a constant, let's show how festive the atmosphere at the stadium is, and then let's have a baseball game in between. Have you noticed that on the telecast?
I have, and I like it. I enjoy it because being in part of a telecast for over a decade in Washington D.C., I feel like the best producers and the best directors in any sport make you at home feel like you're at the game. So if you just show baseball and you don't show the fans, then how are you going to feel like you're at the game? So the reason that Jim Lynch does that with the Giants broadcast, and I think he's the best in the business, is that he wants to show that it's fun at the ballpark and you should come out to the ballpark. And if you're not at the ballpark, you feel like you're at the ballpark. And that's why they shoot around. And if you notice and you pay real close attention to it, on the scores that are the closest is the less fan shots. And if it's 10-0, there's lots of fan shots because it gives the broadcasters stuff to talk about. When in a 10 or 11-0 game, there's nothing for us to talk about in the booth. But it's cute to see a kid eating an ice cream cone. And I think there's a story in every foul ball. So if you track a foul ball and you watch somebody catch it, and then you watch their face and you watch the joy that a foul ball brings to a fan, that's a story in and of itself. So now, I know everybody has different tastes, Gordon. I'm not saying you're wrong because, you like probably a certain kind of music and I like a certain kind of music. And maybe you like your game delivered in a certain way without all the crowd shots. But for me, when I'm sitting at home, I want to feel like I'm at Oracle Park. And I think the Giants do probably the best job of any broadcast team in baseball doing that. And I've always thought that.
Right.
I've always thought that. That's not just a homer answer. I've always thought that when I was here before I went to D.C. And one of my biggest fights in D.C. was our executive producer back there, the head guy, didn't like a lot of crowd shots because he thought I would say something that would get the station in trouble, which he was probably right, but I was trained by the best in Kuip and Kruk, and I kind of knew how to handle those things. And I think fans at home, when the broadcasters have fun with a foul ball or maybe a little kid with ice cream or pizza all over his face, that's endearing. And I love that part, to be honest. I wouldn't want him to change anything. But, Gordon, if you want more baseball and that's how you want your game, I can't argue with that. I'm just kind of telling you how I feel about it.
Yeah, I hear you, and it's definitely valid and worth pondering. I just wish I had more position, the players' positioning, where's the second baseman compared to this or that. But at any rate, you gave me a very good example. So at any rate, keep up the good work, my man, and I'll be listening.
Thanks, Gordon. Fair points. All very fair points. And I'm sure if Jim Lynch or Jeff Kuiper were listening. They would listen to you, but they have a way of doing it, and it's won a lot of awards. And I think 99% of Giants fans love it. But hey, like there's some people that didn't like Vince Scully. So Andrew in Mountain View, how are we doing on the clock, Jacob? Take this one. Andrew in Mountain View, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
Hey, FB. Welcome to my YouTube show. How are you doing?
Thank you, Andrew. This is okay. This is a show rule just for tonight. You have to come on as a caller. Everybody waiting and promote your YouTube channel. All right, Andrew. What are we watching on your YouTube?
Well, I'm a Phillies and Giants fan. So talking about I wanted to ask you about Patrick Bailey. And, do you see him similar? I'm a huge JT Real Muto fan. Do you see him, like, progressing similar to JT, or is there another catcher that you have in mind, either retired or currently playing, that you see Patrick Bailey kind of more comparable to?
Well, I would say this, Andrew, that I said it earlier, so if you're just joining, I don't like to compare people. Every once in a while I'd be like, oh, that dude reminds me exactly of this dude. But with Patrick Bailey, he's Patrick Bailey, and that's good enough right now. I remember when Juan Soto got called up and I was doing the games, and everybody wanted to compare Juan Soto to somebody, and I would just say, he's Juan Soto. He's unique, and right now Patrick Bailey's Patrick Bailey. The one thing I would say about JT, obviously he's more established. He's a little more athletic and has probably a more athletic body and build, and he's quicker, fast twitch than maybe Patrick Bailey, but I don't think Patrick Bailey, if he gets in the weight room this offseason and just locks in, he could have a JT Real Muto build, and it would make him more sturdy for the long haul, and he'd be less susceptible to injuries in a very demanding position. So if I were Patrick Bailey, even though I'm having tremendous success, even though I was flirting with the All-Star team, and we were talking about that earlier, there's no reason why he and JT couldn't go. If I were him, I would get in the weight room and get shredded, like the mayor of Shred City this offseason, and come back and do some damage.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think that, I would be pretty awesome. And I mean, he's playing so well, so it's fun to watch, young guys. I mean, I say young guys, I'm only 28, but it's fun to watch young players come up and have success so instantaneously. Well,
you guys, one of my favorite humans in the world, Trey Turner, playing for your team. So I keep a one eye on the Phillies just for Trey, and then, I think you're in the right direction with the Giants, but maybe your YouTube channel is I'm a confused person because I'm rooting for two teams in the National League.
Exactly. Hey, trust me, I am, especially when they play each other, I'm always confused.
I love anybody that loves baseball, dude. It doesn't matter. I'm glad you love baseball. Andrew, good stuff, man. Thanks for calling. Thanks for waiting.
Thanks, Duffy. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too, dude. 808 KNBR is the number. We got full phone lines right now, full text lines. So we're just going to keep rolling with this. I had all kinds of segments planned tonight, but I'd rather talk to you guys. So everybody on hold, stay right there. This will be a quick commercial break. On the other side, your calls on the Sports Leader.
0-0 score. There goes the runner. The pitch is low. The throw down to second. The tag, and he's safe. What a throw by Patrick Bailey. The ball was down and away. And he popped up. He got very quick pop-up and then snapped the throw down there. It was close, and the Giants, I think, are going to ask for a replay review on this one.
San Francisco is challenging the safe call at second.
I think this call could be overturned.
Field is overturned. The runner is out. San Francisco will retain their challenge.
Are you allowed to say gypsies? I don't think it's political. You can't call people gypsies anymore. I mean, I know I said douche on the radio, but I mean, I'm just like in conversation. You can't like meet somebody and say, "Oh, you're a gypsy." I don't think that's politically correct anymore. You're a nomad, I think, or something like that, or you have wanderlust, but you can't say gypsy. My son told me that the other day. We met somebody in public, and I said, "Oh, you're a gypsy," and he's like, "Dad, you can't say that anymore." So I just said it 6 times, so now I'm in big trouble. 808 KNBR is the number. Giants win 3-0. They go to 17-6 in the month of June. The only team better in the month has been the Atlanta Braves. They've won 13 of their last 15. Their 10th consecutive road victory, the most in San Francisco history, and the most since the 52 New York Giants. Folks, we're dealing with history right now. This team is finding a way to win. I for some reason, this win resonates with me more than most. And maybe it's because, the Blue Jays have always been thumpers, and you go in there, that's the second time they've been shut out this year. Their bullpen's been awesome. They're doing just enough to win on offense. Thairo Estrada's an all-star. Patrick Bailey needs consideration for being an all-star. And the guy that really needs consideration that I don't think anybody's talking about is Tyler Rogers. He had a 17th hold tonight. He pitched an inning and 2/3. He struck out 4. His ERA is at 1.79. This is a guy last year, if I'm being perfectly honest, which I try to be authentic and honest on this show all the time, that when he came in, I was cringing, like, oh no. And then this year he comes in and he's striking out big hitters in big situations that normally don't strike out. The submarine delivery, the frisbee is frisbeeing, the riser is rising, and nobody seems to be picking him up this year. So what a difference it's been for Tyler Rogers. He deserves some all-star consideration. His brother Taylor has already been an all-star, but why not make the twins an all-stars in the family? Not Taylor this year, but Tyler for sure. 808 KNBR is the number. Before I get to you guys are waiting patiently on hold. Thank you so much. This is fun tonight. You guys are really fired up like I am. Let me see here. I got to proofread some of these during the commercial break. If you send me long ones, you guys, it's really heartfelt and I appreciate it, but I don't have enough time to read it, and my reading skills aren't good enough to read it on the air. I need some reading. Reading is fundamental. Yeah, that one's too long. So let me get to the phones. Let me see. Gypsies will steal your treasures. Well, there I said it again. Are we going to get banned? I didn't know this. And my son's like, Dad, you can't say, are you a gypsy? Like, it's offensive. And I'm like, I didn't know that. Sorry. I'm showing my social skills are not good. All right. Let's go to who's been waiting the longest. Mike in Eugene, Oregon. Mike's a gypsy. What's going on, Mike? Sorry.
Hey, the gypsy speaks loud and clear.
What's going on, dude? How are you tonight?
Hey, man, I have a new YouTube show.
Yeah.
And it's called...
What's it called? Getting stoned with Mike?
No, well, close, man. It's called Looking Glass Sports with the blind old dude getting a finer look at the second place San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, this is fun right now. It's fun to be a Giants fan. It's a great time, and based on the 10th consecutive road victory, it's an historic time to be a Giants fan.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's too bad I called early yesterday. I would have been happy to comment on that Queen with his comments on his YouTube show because he was promenading it so much. I was foaming at the mouth. So instead of foaming at my mouth, I'm gleeing over the Giants because it was a great win. I won't say it was the best win of the year, FP, but the way that, the pitching went and the way the hitters stood in there. I mean, I was worried at first, with our two leadoff batters, being 0 for 6 with all those strikeouts, and we struck out a lot, but, we struck them out a lot too.
Let me see the strikeouts in the game tonight. It was insane, the amount of strikeouts. There was a lot of swinging and missing going on, but there's also a lot of good stuff going on, too, especially for the Giants pitcher, Mike, and the Giants pitchers. When you go with a guy like Ryan Walker with a crossfire, then Alex Wood with all the elbows and kneecaps, and then you give with Tyler Rogers with his Submariner delivery, and then you come with Camilo Duvall. Like, that's a lot of different looks. Let's see. The Blue Jays struck out, by my account here, the Blue Jays pitchers struck out 13. And the Giants pitchers struck out 17 Blue Jays tonight. So there was 30 strikeouts in the game tonight.
Yeah, it was like me, my career, man. 30 strikeouts a game. It was impressive. I was a little concerned with Conforto. I couldn't see the plays, obviously. I don't know if he misplayed the balls or what, but they survived those. And Bailey Stroh, I mean, that guy, he has a good arm. It's pinpoint. And not to mention, we got to say it, JD, my God, he made some great throws, some great plays. I mean, that one from third on the other side of the base, I mean, that was a big, big play. I think that needs to be talked about more. That can't be overshadowed.
No, and he's making a bid for the All-Star team, too, hitting 289. He went 2 for 3 tonight, and against some really good pitching, made some good plays at third base. He was the post-game interview with John Miller, which we're going to probably replay later in the show tonight. It was a really good interview with John. So, I mean, it's just a good time to be a Giants fan. I mean, there's nothing really more to say than we could talk about, who's going to be an All-Star. But I think Tyro could use the days off more than playing in the game, if I'm being perfectly honest. I think it'd be a great accomplishment for him as a major league player, but he could use those days off based on how much he's been used and how hard he plays and all the stolen bases and banging his body around.
Oh, well, and he was a great catalyst for today. I mean, they can't win without him. I mean, he did so much today. Yeah,
he did. He did, for sure.
So that that sets it up, and I was just impressed that when they had players in scoring position, I mean they did. I mean look at the Blue Jays. 1 out of 14, I think it was, or 1 out of 13 with players in scoring position.
Yeah, and get the big hit tonight. And the reason I'm so excited, Mike, I got to go because I got literally 7-8 callers waiting on hold right now. Thanks for calling, buddy. It's good talking to you as usual. Have a great night, and we'll check in tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, thanks.
Let me check the scores around the league. There's only one I care about right now. It's 8-4 Diamondbacks in the bottom of the 6th against the Rays, so that's not good for us. Let's go. One more call before the break, and everybody stay right there. It's just going to be a call-a-palooza tonight. Let's go to Sean and Merced. Sean, you want to talk about Patrick Bailey? What's going on?
Yeah, as I was looking over the all-star selections for my voting, I had to write in Patrick Bailey because I'm thinking Sean Murphy and Will Smith, are they that much better than Patrick Bailey? I mean, they've got twice as many at-bats. That's probably the only thing. And they have more national attention.
Yeah, and just that Patrick got called up a little bit later, I think is his biggest weakness, I guess, if you will, as far as being an all-star. But he's played all-star caliber baseball. He's, I think, one of the best catchers in the National League as we speak. That throw tonight was outrageous, insane that he threw out Whit Merrifield on a bad pitch to handle for a catcher. The sidearm sling right on the money with a 0.7 pop time, which is just like JT Realmuto. I think Realmuto is the only guy in the league that has a quicker release time to second base than Patrick Bailey. So he's done everything right, man, including hits and including hitting right-handed, which nobody thought he could do. So, I mean, I don't think he's overachieving. I just think he's super relaxed, super comfortable, and his confidence level's through the roof.
Yeah, he's caught more base stealers than Sean Murphy and Will Smith as far as percentage-wise. I mean, I checked out baseballreference.com. But I mean,
yeah, those guys are on good teams too. But the Giants are a good team now, and they're in second place, so they're going to get more consideration for the All-Star game based on winning. And they're also, if they keep this going with a young core, all of a sudden, and they keep winning this year, and things keep trending north like they are, they're going to be in the Shohei Ohtani mix now. All of a sudden, and that's something that we'll talk about as the season progresses. But Shohei got a taste of winning the World Baseball Classic, and I was saying in spring training that it's not just about money to him. He wants to win, and if the Giants want to sign him, they have to win this year, and right now they're winning.
Yeah, I mean, that's my thought. This is kind of getting off topic, but I mean, the Giants want to be like low profile and nobody knows things, so they kind of sneak in there. That's what they always do. Like, I mean, they work hard, everybody battles. But I mean, honestly, a big time free agent, are they going to want to come to the Giants? Are they going to be a platoon player? Or if you're elite, you're going to play no matter where? No, what do you think?
Yeah, Shohei Ohtani's not platooning, dude. He's playing every day, and he's pitching every fifth day, and he's like 2 players in one, and he's going to get $600 million. So we'll see how that whole thing goes. Sean and Merced, thanks for the call. Phone lines are full. If it's busy, keep trying to chime in. I'll get to all you guys tonight. Look at that. He hangs up. Another one comes in. 808 KNBR is the number. Giants win 3-0. They go to 11 games over 500. There was 57,146 hot dogs sold tonight in Toronto. It was dollar hot dog night. It was loony. It was a loony for a hot dog night. The Canadians love their wieners. They do. They love their hot dogs. So we'll talk about that next on the Sports Leader.
Here's the pitch. He struck him out swinging with a sinker down and in. A leadoff double, and then he retires 3 in a row, the last 2 with strikeouts.
Thunder Road by the boss. Nicely done, Jacob. Giants go to 17-6 in the month of June. They've won 13 of their last 15. The headlines tonight is they win 3-0. They go to 45-34, 11 games over 500. It's their 10th consecutive road victory, the most in San Francisco history and the most since the 1952 New York Giants. So an historic win tonight, an historic run right now they're having. The only team with a better run in the month of June has been the Braves, who are 18-4. Braves are on fire right now, and it looks like, they're going to collide in August in Atlanta, but those could be the best 2 teams in the National League as we speak. It looks like, if I'm looking, let me find the scores, the Diamondbacks are beating the Rays right now as we speak. Trying to find an update on that score. They're up 8-4. That's in the bottom of the 6th. So still a ways to go in that game. We'll keep an eye on that. Maybe too early to be scoreboard watching, but I think we're all kind of eyeing first place right now, right? I feel like we all as Giants fans, and I don't want to put words into your guys' mouth, but I know I feel like this is a first place caliber ball club. And if you would have told me in Scottsdale, or maybe in April when they started 6-13 or whatever it was, that they would be flirting with first place at the end of June, I mean, we'd all have been in on that, right? I saw a team that was exciting in Scottsdale. I didn't just do those shows from the booth in Scottsdale and get all fired up about the young kids I was seeing down there to blow smoke up your ass. I don't do that. Like, that was a fun group to watch play in spring training, whether it was Casey Schmidt, whether it was Patrick Bailey, who I didn't see a whole lot. There was a lot of good young players, whether it was Bryce Johnson running around like a crazy man, stealing bases. It was a fun group to watch, and now you guys are getting to see that group that we got to see for a month and a half in spring training. And then add the veterans in, and anytime you have a good mix of young guys that you can screw around with as a veteran, and then as a young guy have veterans that take you under their wing. I thought there was a really good story by Evan Weback today about Tyro Estrada going and Wilmer Flores taking Luis Matos to Disneyland on their day off against the Dodgers, and how they're Venezuelan players, and they took him under their wing. And, when you're a rookie in the big leagues, the veteran that kind of takes you in and breaks you in is really influential the rest of your career. Like, I've seen some guys kind of gravitate toward a guy you're like, oof, that's not the guy you want to break you in, because now you're going to be bitching about everything and be miserable all the time, just like he is. So it's really cool that Wilmer kind of took Tyro under his wing, and now Tyro and Wilmer are taking a 21-year-old kid under their wing and kind of show him the ropes. And what does that mean? Well, this is how we do it here. And if you have a question about anything, I'm here for you. Anything. There's no such thing as a stupid question. What does this guy have? What's he going to do to me at 2 strikes? This and that. When do I pick up my key? When do I get on the elevator in the hotel? Do I wait for all the veterans to get on the elevator first? Is it okay for me to get on the elevator with you guys, or do I wait in line? Am I last on the bus? Am I last on the elevator? Where do I sit on the plane? Who do I sit next to on the plane? There's so many things that go into being a good rookie and a good teammate. And I think today more than ever, the veterans, just, if you can help us win, there's no hazing. There's no, and if it is, it's fun and everybody has a good time with it. So all of these things are really important, especially when you're 21 years old. I couldn't imagine being a 21-year-old rookie and when I first go around the big leagues and they're just like, okay, how do I do this? Where do I have to be at this time? When do I come out for early work? How many days a week do I do early work? Does it look bad if I miss a day, if I'm tired? Do I have to be out there every day? Sometimes rookies outwork themselves, and it's to their detriment because they want to show the coaches how eager they are and how hard they want to work. Next thing you know, you're 0 for your next 12 because you're working too hard. So that's when a veteran like Wilmer or Tyro says, hey, dude, you don't need to hit early today. Your swing looks good. You don't need to shag for 3 groups in batting practice. Just get jumps on 1 group. Save your energy for the game. This is what we eat the night before the game. These are the nights when we go out and have a couple of pops, when we have a day off or a night game. So all of these things are really integral to your development as a young player and to your success and the longevity of your career when you come up and you have like veteran guys like Tyro Estrada and Wilmer Flores that are consummate professionals, both of those guys, taking Luis Matos under their wing. So if you get a chance, it's a great article by Evan Weback on how these guys have been hanging around And they just said, hey, you want to come to Disney with us? And he's like, yeah, I want to get to know you guys. And that's how those whole things go. Let me get back to the phones. Let's go to Matt in Millbrae. He's been waiting a long time. Matt, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
Hey, sports talk at its finest. Thanks so much. Really appreciate it. I am so excited about these bullpen games. And if I had a YouTube channel, I'm thinking even just talking about bullpen games. It's amazing. Look who they've beaten in the last 10 days. The Giants bullpen has beaten Kevin Gausman, Blake Snell, and Giants killer Merrill Kelly. Those are premier pitchers, and it's the Giants bullpen. And look at Sean Manaea. Maybe he was at the tail end of his career at the beginning of the year. He couldn't get the ball over the plate, giving up a bunch of home runs. But with the bullpen games, if he comes in second, well, if he doesn't have his stuff, you pull him after an inning. And, there's not that much harm done because the team can get back. And now, he's getting the ball over the plate, and he's giving us 3 or 4 innings. There's so much flexibility and possibilities with bullpen games. It's just incredible, and I think it's the wave of the future. Why don't, everybody in the East Coast is saying, okay, well, everybody wants starting pitching at the trade deadline, and so they're going to bid the prices up. And, what about getting in under the radar like Moneyball and trying to get another acquisition that's a pitcher that can pitch 3 or 4 innings? And so, with the current configuration, we've beat those top 3 arms, in the big leagues. Well, imagine if we had one more fellow, and I won't say who I think we should trade, but if we had a pitcher that could give us 3 or 4 innings, I'm excited as get-go. It should be obvious.
Matt, I'm with you, and I never thought I'd say this. I've changed a lot since I've come back and see these things work and come to fruition. But when somebody argues, that the bullpen games, I've seen a few text messages tonight. A couple of my friends have said the same thing. Is going to wear down the bullpen, and in August, September, it's going to kill us. You just went. You had your bulk guy go 5 innings tonight. So if Alex Wood started and went 5, that's kind of what the modern day starter does. Is they go 5. You're just kind of doing it in the order you think, with the pockets of the lineup that you want to face, and be more effective with the guys in certain pockets of the lineup. Where there's right-handers, I want Walker to face. Here come the lefties. Here comes Alex Wood. And as long as you're not rolling through 6 pitchers a night and it's 4, who cares if it's an opener game? I mean, it's working. And like I said, from a hitter standpoint, I don't want to face a different guy every at bat. I don't. I want to barrel up a baseball or strike out my first time. And if I strike out my first time on a pitch, I'm looking for that pitch the second time because that guy's going to throw it. And if I barrel up a baseball my first time, that pitch has already been eliminated, and I look at another zone for another pitch. And that's how you put together a Rubik's Cube puzzle kind of night as a hitter. But if I'm facing a different guy every at bat, I don't know where his arm angle is coming from and his stuff. And then now this guy's throwing sidearm. This guy's got all kinds of crap coming at me. This guy's stepping in the other team's dugout. Right. That's not easy. And don't think that wasn't by design tonight. That we're going to go with funky, and then funkier, and then 100 miles an hour at the end. That's by design.
Sure, and look at Wood. Okay, he's, we weren't sure how he was going to do. So, if he's a second guy in and he doesn't have his stuff, okay, we'll pull him after an inning and there's no major damage done. We're not trying to keep him in there for 4 innings or 5 or 6 or seeing how long he can go. But boom, we got 4 or 5 innings out of him, and, everybody else is rested now. It's just incredible. The flexibility the bullpen game offers, because in the first inning, if you're just going to have your bullpen starter go 1 inning or maybe 2 or 4 outs or whatever, you can examine how the other team is. Every day is different for every team and every player, and maybe you can sense that the other team is really tired for some reason because they're exhausted after they got back off on the road trip, or maybe they're not. So you can get a good sense, and so if you can see if so and so has a hole in his swing or if he fixed it. And so then when you're with your second inning punch, you can give them a more appropriate look. You're not showing them the same thing for 5 or 6 innings. And so because the Giants are systematically trying to have as many different looks as possible, you have a good bullpen starter, and then you've got 3 or 4 ways you can go depending on the information you get by studying your iPad after the first inning, and you can exploit any weaknesses that you see. It's just phenomenal.
It is. I'm with you, Matt, and I never thought I'd say that. Matt, really good stuff, very poignant stuff, very well spoken, and very intelligent. Good call, Matt. I appreciate you calling. Yeah, I'm starting to come around to this whole opener thing. I wonder if there's going to be a day when there isn't starting pitching anymore. Like, because Alex Wood's thing is he can't get through the lineup 3 times. Like, the numbers indicate that the third time through, everybody kind of gets used to the funkiness and they know what's coming and they have success against him. So now you bring him in the second inning and he goes 5 innings and gets you to the 7th. Like, this is, I never thought I'd say this. Roger and San Leandro, I mean, it's working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Roger and San Leandro, what's going on? You're on KNBR.
Hey, FP, how's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Not too bad. Hey, look, I just wanted to chime in real quick. I'm really glad that the Giants beat Gosman tonight. You know, like, my understanding was before he left the Giants was that the Giants gave him a lucrative contract, but he didn't want to sign for them. And he went to the highest bidder. And now he's kind of had minimal success with them. And so, and the same with Bryant. Bryant opted out, and the Rockies paid him all that money. And you see, he hasn't even produced. And so, but just the same, though, you know, the Giants got all these good rookies mixed in with veterans. And I wanted to just tell you that Conforto has a batting stance like Roger Maris. The next time he come up the bat, kind of notice his batting stance. He has a batting stance. When you look at those old black and white films of Maris, you'll see that he kind of bats a little bit like Maris. But just the same, though, I just wanted to ask you, this year's coming up draft, what do you think the Giants are looking for?
If I start talking draft right now, I'm going to lose 1 million listeners. I don't think anybody cares about the draft, no offense. I think we're talking about a team that just won their 10th game on the road. And if I start breaking down the Major League draft on people I don't even know or care about, I tweeted this the other day. They had an MLB combine on MLB Network. And nobody loves baseball more than I do. Maybe as much as I do, but nobody loves baseball more than I do. And I tweeted, if you're watching that, you need to call a 1-800 number and check in, because you're absolutely way overboard if you're watching an MLB draft combine. All right, thanks for the call. 808 KNBR. Wesley, I see you right there. You've been waiting a long time. Joe, I see you. Johnny, you guys have been waiting a long time, so we're going to take a quick break. 1 million text messages. I'm going to try to get to all of them. On the other side, you're listening to The Sports Leader.
If you can make the conversion, 1 Canadian loonie, 76 U.S. cents. That's what a hot dog costs tonight at Rogers Center. Don't you wish you were here? And in case anybody was curious, the final loonie hot dog check. They sold 57,056 hot dogs tonight.
For $1 Canadian?
$1 Canadian.
And how many did we buy?
We bought not a single one. Not one.
Well, I mean, the Blue Jays are the only team in Canada now. But back in the day in Montreal, we knew when it was dollar hot dog night because we get 50,000 people. You know, we get like 12,000 on a normal night. Then all of a sudden you run out to center field and you look around Olympic Stadium, there's 50,000 people, and we just go, oh, it's dollar hot dog night. The Canadians love their hot dogs. 57,000 sold tonight at Rogers Center. Used to be the old Sky Dome. A packed crowd. And what a great promotion. Like, they made $57,000 tonight on hot dogs. And you know that it doesn't cost that much to make them. I feel like Joey Chestnut was there somewhere. By the way, Joe Rizzo, my partner, everywhere we go, he loves hot dogs. Like, we will eat in media dining. For those of you who don't know, like, they'll have media dining for the broadcasters, and some ballparks are better than other ballparks. Like, the Giants, I'll put them up with anybody. The media dining over at Oracle is fantastic. But when we're on the road, like, Detroit was terrible, Miami's okay. But they all have the hot dogs on the rollers. In Dodger Stadium, they have the Dodger dogs all wrapped up in tin foil. So you don't pay a whole lot, like $12 or $15. And like when you're done with your show prep, you're like, hey, you want to go eat? And you just walk a couple steps behind the booth, and there's media dining. And whatever it is on a certain night, it could be steak, it could be chicken, it could be hamburgers. Some are fancy, some aren't. But they all have hot dogs. And Joe Rizzo is going to kill me for saying this on the air, but I did say it on the broadcast. He loves his hot dogs. So he will get dinner and eat it, and then he will come back and he'll have 2 hot dogs on his plate for dessert. So I thought of him tonight. I texted him. I said, dude, I can't believe you're not in Toronto right now. They sold 57,100 hot dogs tonight at Rogers Center. So the Giants win 3-0. It's their 10th consecutive road victory. That is a franchise record here in San Francisco, the most since the 52 New York Giants. So we get into the game a lot of just recapping. They're 17-6 in June. They've won 13 of the last 15. It was a playoff-style game tonight. I don't know if it had a playoff atmosphere, but it's probably like food coma from all the hot dogs they were eating. And they really didn't have a lot to cheer about, Blue Jays fans tonight. But if you're going to win in October, and Giants fans know this better than anyone, 10, 12, and 14, it's about the way they played tonight. It's about those 1-0 games, and it could go either way, and there's runners in scoring position. Your bullpen comes in, they get some big outs, you add on late. That's how you win in October. So the reason I've been so giddy tonight and so damn excited about tonight's win, maybe versus the obvious ones when they're down by 5 and they come back and like, whoa, and they snatch one. Like tonight's a solid baseball win. Tonight was an October-style win. If you want to have a parade and you want to have a ring, you win the close games. You don't kick those away. Good teams that are up 1-0 late, they add on and they win those games, and their bullpen says, I got this. Good teams, when they're up 1-0, their pitchers look the other hitters in the eye and say, I got this. I have enough. You got me my one run. That's all I need. And that's what I saw tonight. They overcame some deficiencies. Michael Conforto had a tough night in right field tonight. I don't know if he was seeing the ball well. But a really good win, a really historic win. Only the second time the Blue Jays have been shut out all season long. Let's go to Wesley in Pittsburgh. Wesley, you're on KNBR. What's going on, Wesley?
Hey, FP, it's Surfer West.
Hey, what's up, Surfer West? What's going on, dude?
Well, I was getting a little nervous when you nailed that guy about his YouTube channel because, of course, I have a YouTube channel, and it's surfing for old guys.
Well, that's fine.
OG.
I mean, it's fine, but
soggies.
Yo, you call yourself soggies. All right, surfer for old guys. All right.
Okay. So here's the deal.
I would call you guys wrinkly shark bait. That would be the name of my YouTube channel for old surfers. But anyways.
Well, you know, they say that when you wear a wetsuit and you're out floating in the ocean, that you look just like a seal. So that kind of gets you nervous a little bit.
Yeah, and it's a good thing that wetsuit's holding in your you-know-what, because those would be probably touching the bottom. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm full of old guys. I'm old myself, Wes. I can say this.
Last night you did forgiveness, right? And
I did.
We called in with stuff we were willing to forgive. And it was like, I'm realizing, so you're Italian and you're FP, and it hit me. That F actually stands for Father Paul Santangelo, and this is like a confessional that we can do while we're learning about baseball. Like that guy that was talking about Roger Maris's stance and Conforto and stuff. I'm learning. This is great. I can get forgiveness, and I get learning, and then I shut up.
That's good. Well, hey, I'll tell you this. I went to confession probably like 3 years ago for the first time in 10 years, and the guy got the laminated card out, and the priest was like, have you ever? And I'm like, yes. And he got to like, have you killed someone? I'm like, no, but I've pretty much done everything else. And then I spontaneously combusted, and they had like a fire extinguisher, and they put me out right there in the confessional.
Well, that's why you have to be a talk show host, because there's nothing else left for you.
This is true. All right, Wesley, thanks for calling tonight. I appreciate it, dude. Good stuff.
Surfer West.
Surfer West. All right, Surfer West. You know, old guys surfing, like if your sack hangs off to the side, you could like get caught on a rock and it's like an anchor. And then you're just like, then what do you do? Then you're stuck. It's like your leash, but like it's not a leash. You just got to be careful. You can't get snagged on a rock. And you're just sitting out there like all willy-nilly shark bait, trolling. You're just trolling at that point. No, I can't say that word anymore. Let's go to Joe in San Francisco. Joe, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
Hey, how are you? Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather listen to Joey Chestnut do anything and listen to that guy talk about his YouTube channel. That was funny.
Dude, I'm repeating myself. I said this on the air a few times. When Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area first opened up, for some reason, and when they remember they had Sportsnet Central, on one of the Sportsnet Centrals in the studio, they had Joey Chestnut. And so he was pounding hot dogs.
That's great.
And I was standing right next to him, and he dunks the bun in the water. You'll see him on the 4th of July. You do every year. And then he mushes the bun, and then he like deep throats the hot dog as quick as you can. And I'm standing next to him, and I'm getting splash. I'm getting splash off of him. And so finally, I just scream as loud as I can. They still have this tape on air live. I go, get it in you, Joey! Get it in you! And he just was crushing it. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
He's a real athlete, but getting to the
I think he poops a small ham after he's done. He has to. I don't know where it goes.
Whatever he does, he's doing great.
Yeah.
But like the Giants, I'm just all in for this. Whatever they're doing, I don't know who's in charge of calling these guys up, but they're hitting the ball, and it's the offense is why we're winning games. It's the same in Little League. My son played Little League. Like if you're not hitting the ball, you're on the bench. It's like you have to hit. You have to get some hits. You can be the best first baseman, but you or I could play first base, but we can't hit. I can't hit the ball. You can, but like
I can't. No, I can't.
These young guys are hitting the ball. They're hitting the ball. They're getting singles, doubles, anything, base hits. That's what's winning the games. It's the offense. And Brandon Crawford is doing great. I mean, he's old, but Brandon Crawford's having great games.
He is. He can play, man.
It's just great. It's just great, and I'm just very happy that they're getting all these young guys in because they have the desire and they have the, you know, they're so motivated because they're called up and it's their time and they're making it happen, and I'm just very proud of the Giants, and it's great for the Bay Area. So
thanks, Joe. Good call, dude. I will say this about everybody tonight. I'm overwhelmed by the response. Like standing ovation to everybody that listens to this show. You guys listen to me every night on the way out. I thank you guys because I think I have the best listeners and callers in all of sports talk radio from coast to coast. I don't care. I don't think I know this. Tonight, I'm blown away by the response because generally speaking, when you have a caller-driven show, a negative plays. So when the Giants lose, I get lots of calls. When the Giants lose one late, I get tons of calls. And there was a time when I first started the show about a year ago that I was all thinking backwards. I'm like, the Giants are winning, but now what am I going to talk about tonight? Because Giants fans don't want to call a show when they win. Here the Giants are 11 games over 500. They won their 10th consecutive road victory, a San Francisco Giants record, a franchise record since they moved to San Francisco. You guys have lit up the phone since the game ended. It's been nonstop. I can't even get to all the text messages. You guys are amazing. So a standing ovation from the host tonight on the response to a team that's winning. And I think when you looked at the crowds in the homestand and you felt the electricity from the crowds in the homestand, not just the numbers, we got 39,000 tonight. You could shove in 39,000 to a ballpark where they're a bunch of stiffs and they don't cheer. It doesn't matter. It is money for the ownership. They'd probably disagree. But I'm talking about the atmosphere at the ballpark this homestand. The electricity was tangible. You guys were cheering for things to happen. It was an East Coasty vibe for sure. And I've always said that about Giants fans. They're very well educated. They're very passionate. And they're very East Coasty. Because that's just us. I mean, we're gritty as a family here as Giants fans in Northern California, whether it's the coastline, whether it's all the crap on the Embarcadero that needs to be power hosed off and stuff. We're gritty. I mean, that's us. And the team right now is gritty and grindy, just like we are. And I think that's what we're all relating to. The young kids and the energy they've given us as fans, the veteran guys that are playing well that's given us energy, and just the way this team has come from behind, the way this team has scrapped and clawed and fought. That's what we love as baseball fans in Northern California, because that's what we are. We're gritty. We're grindy. We're hard hat and lunch pail fans. And now we have a team that's hard hat and lunch pail. And I think so that's why it's resonating so well with you guys. It's not just that they're winning. It's not just that you're going and saying, I went to the Giants game tonight, Muffy. It was great. It was so nice. I was sitting in the stands. I had some champagne. No, you guys are going there and drinking beers and cheering for things to happen. And as players, we feed off that, man. We feed off the energy that you give us as fans. Like if I'm having a rough day and, maybe I didn't sleep well last night and I run out to center field and there's 39,000 fans, okay. But if it's 39,000 fans that are into every freaking pitch the whole game, that's like 10 shots of espresso to me. And that's what the guys are doing right now. I know they're playing well on the road, but when they come home, you guys are letting them know. You're letting them know that you're paying attention. And you're letting them know that you approve of how they're going about things. Let's go to Johnny in Washington. Johnny wants to talk about Jock Peterson. Johnny, you're on KNBR. What's up?
Hey, thanks for taking my call. It's Johnny Cakes. Listening, being on hold for half hour, I got a lot of things to tick off, but I'll keep it short.
Okay.
Number one, being a player, you just said, being a player there, that's what I want to talk about, Jock, and I'll get there. But I wanted to say, hearing that guy talk about wanting to see only the game and not the shots in the outfield and the foul balls, if you're at the game, you're going to watch the ball. And that's what you want to see. And they do a great job of that. The way they show everything, you feel like you're at the game. And it's great. And
that's the point of the broadcast, and that's what makes a good broadcast. If you're sitting on your couch drinking a beer, you've had a long day, you sat in traffic, you get home, you want to escape from reality, you watch a baseball game, and if you can't afford to be there or you just can't drive that far, or you just can't be at the game, a good broadcast, a good director, producer, and broadcast team presents it in a way where they make you feel like you're there, and I don't think anybody does it better than the Giants. I'm not just saying that. I said that when I was back in D.C. I used to probably piss off my producer and director a lot, saying, like, more crowd shots, more this, more that, because, in the games that I filled in for the Giants, that's how I was brought up in baseball, to, talk about fans and seeing there's magic in every foul ball. When the kids are looking at a foul ball they just caught, or an adult catches one and hands it to a kid. Like, those are great moments, I think, in a game where, before this year with the pitch clock, there's a lot of downtime. Let's face it. So if you notice, Johnny, if the bigger difference in the score, if the Giants are down 10 or up 10, you'll see way more crowd shots because it gives the broadcasters more to talk about. And there's not a lot going on in the game. So why wouldn't you want to see the coolest stadium in all of baseball and the fans that are there? I agree with you.
And I don't get to watch a lot of live broadcasts, so I have to watch it on the radio, and they do a great job on the radio broadcast of showing the same thing. I actually tell my friends, I watched it on the radio.
Wait, you know what? You that's a term I've never heard before, but it's a really good term. And I'm learning how to broadcast play-by-play on the radio. And if you say that you watched a game on the radio, that means that John Miller and Dave Fleming did their job, because they're painting a picture for you, and you're driving around in your car and you could see the game in your mind. And that's how you know you got good broadcasters, and those guys are the best.
Yes. And so to tick off another one, I was on my walk today, and there was a hot dog stand, and I decided to have a hot dog. So add that to the total for the hot dogs today.
All right, Johnny.
7,056 hot dogs.
And Johnny had one too. All right, Johnny, thanks for the call, dude. I appreciate it. Really, really good stuff. Johnny loves his wieners. Let's go to Greg in Portland. Greg, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
I have to let me get you off the speaker here.
No, yeah. What you calling from a holding cell? You calling from Alcatraz?
No, I'm having a late dinner.
All right. Well, I know I ambushed you. You've been waiting a long time. What do you want to talk about, buddy?
Oh, a couple things. Well, quick, April, May, I told you a couple times I thought this team was, 500 team. Might improve 4 or 5 games either side, or, not. But it looks like I might be wrong. So I'm glad. And the other thing, just listening, is I agree with you. Because I've been back east. This is an East Coast. There's always been something about East Coast about the Giants. Going back to my very first game when my uncle El Cerrito took me. We went down, and it was my very first Giants game, and I sensed it, and just tougher, kind of blue collar. My uncle was a blue collar guy. He was a foundry worker. And then I don't know if I got the guy's name wrong. Fimright in Sports Illustrated, way back, might have been early 70s. And I was in high school, but I read this article, and it was about the Giants and how the Giants fans have this reputation. San Francisco is hoity-toity, and the fans and the whole thing is not. And actually, Oakland, which the stereotype, he says back east, is supposed to be blue collar, and he said, from his perspective, I'll never forget this, that the Giants and San Francisco fans were very East Coast, blue collar, tough, knowledgeable, and as the years have gone by, and now I'm an old, retiree, pensioner, and have gone to some games, many games, maybe 10, 15 in all these years, I would agree. And when you brought that up earlier, I wanted to chime in. So there you are. That's my perspective.
All right, Greg. Good stuff, man. I appreciate it. I got a million calls to get to, but thanks for everybody for waiting tonight.
Yeah. I wanted to talk to you about hot dogs and poutine in Montreal, but we'll do that another day.
Greg, poutine at like 2 in the morning in Montreal is the greatest thing ever. All right, 808 KNBR is the number. I see everybody there. We got full phone lines. We're getting all your calls. We're just riding out the calls all night. We're going nowhere till 10 o'clock. FP Santangelo, KNBR tonight on the Sports Leader.
Here's the pitch. Swing, and there's a high drive into the left center field. Back is Merrifield. Back at the warning track, at the wall, and it's high off the wall. Coming in to score is Jock Peterson. Racing around third. Here comes the throw home, the slide. Safe! It's a two-run double for Thairo Estrada, getting Peterson and Davis home. Davis scoring all the way from first. And the Giants have a 3-0 lead. A huge hit there for Thairo Estrada.
Giants win 3-0 tonight. They take the first of a 3-game set against the Toronto Blue Jays. They go to 17-6 of the month of June. They've won 13 of the last 15. Their 10th consecutive road victory. That's the most in San Francisco Giants history and the most since the 52 New York Giants. That's crazy. It was the first time in Giants history that the Giants pitchers have had 17 or more strikeouts in a game with 0 walks. So another record tonight. What's going on right now, folks, is historic. And even with this show tonight, it's historic. The calls have been nonstop since we came on. Like, every phone line has been full. The text line, I can't even get to all of them. Overwhelmed by how fired up you guys are. And the show's been absolutely outstanding. Let's go back to the phones. Giovanni, you've been waiting a while. What's going on, man? Thanks for waiting. Giovanni.
FP. My man. Hey, great callers today, by the way. Shout out to everybody.
Yeah, great callers. Turn down the porn music in the background. Thanks.
Oh, sorry about that, bro.
That's all right.
Music, that's some reggaeton, bro. Come on.
Hey, yeah, but you're on the radio.
Oh no, but I wanted to say, man, Ryan Walker today, bro. Geez, I can't believe what I saw today. I mean, it's like so many players in the game today. It's kind of hard to choose. Best win of the season, I mean, in my opinion. But Ryan Walker, I mean, come on, bro.
Well, if you missed it, Ryan Walker had runners on first and third, nobody out in the bottom of the first, and he struck out 3 Blue Jays in a row. to get out of that jam. And it was 1-0 forever as soon as Patrick Bailey drove in a run. I think it was in the 5th inning to make it 1-0 Giants. They scored 2 in the 9th on Tyro Estrada's double off the wall. It should have been a home run. They raised the walls in Toronto this year. It could have been a home run. But yeah, that run stood up because if you look at stats about teams that score first in the record, generally speaking, good teams are 15, 20 games over 500 when they score first. So when you're talking about a playoff type game and a 1-0 game for, 8 innings tonight, Ryan Walker getting out of that jam in the first inning, guys used to relieving and not like starting a game like that. I thought, I told Jacob before he came on, he was my MVP tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, Alex Wood did a great job after that following, but I mean, I feel like Alex Wood, had a responsibility. I mean, what an inning from Ryan Walker, bro. Like, Alex Wood couldn't fail after that. And I felt, but like, so many MVPs tonight, FP, like, my 6, I mean, I counted them 6. Ryan Walker, Alex Wood, let's go, Tyro Estrada, Patrick Bailey, let's go with Camilo Duvall, and one more. Who was it? I don't know. I said 5, but, bro, like, this was a real team effort. Best one of the season. Let's celebrate it. 1-0. Better than any Dodger win, in my opinion.
Giovanni, did you call this winner and say like that Trey Lance should be the quarterback? I remember because I remember all the bros all of a sudden. It's come back to me. You're like, bro,
never.
Trey Lance, bro.
That was not me.
That bro, are you sure, bro?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I'm all
Brock Purdy.
I'm not team Lance, bro. It's all Brock Purdy, bro. Like,
all right, bro.
He showed he showed Joe Montana stuff, but back to the Giants. That's one of the season. Let's celebrate it, guys. Everybody, FP, all the callers. 1-0. This was not a lavish win. This was a statement win. I mean, bro, like, I'm so happy with this win. I'm sure everybody is. Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, it was 30 minutes. I wasn't counting. I was doing my thing.
Giovanni, man, this is the hottest show going right now, man. You got to wait your turn, but I appreciate you calling, bro. Bro.
Like this, dude, you don't understand. You don't understand, bro. You're like, bro, a real deal, bro. Like, Giants are a real deal, but it's also like, who's behind this? You've been on the road with the team. I'm sure you've been on the bus, bro. Like, they connect with you, bro. It's like, I got a feeling that's what's happening. Because the top 4, Dave Fleming, John Miller, Kruko, Kuiper, they've been around. But who's the new impulse? Well, I think it's you, FP. Like, you can relate with the players, bro. You've been on the 100-win team with Oakland. And you know how it works in the clubhouse. Like, man, it's like, this is special. I don't know what's going on. I've never been to this. I've been a Giant since I can remember. And I don't even know, bro. Like, but this is really special. And I appreciate everybody, bro, that's being a part of this, including, like, you, all the callers, all the Giants. Bro, I'm super excited about this win. I just got to let everybody know.
Thanks, Giovanni. Thanks for waiting. And I love you, man. There's a lot of love going around. You're the man. Thanks for all the kind words, dude. All right, let's bounce around. Giovanni waited a long time.
It was 30 minutes. I wasn't counting.
It was 30 minutes. I wasn't. Everybody's been waiting tonight. It's been one of those shows, man. It's like a bunch of airplanes waiting to take off at LaGuardia right now. All right, 808 KBR. You guys I can't get to all the texts. You guys have been amazing all night. I'm overwhelmed with all this. Let's go to George in Concord. George wants to talk about the Giants. George, you're on KNBR. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, FP? Thanks for taking my call, man.
What's up, bro? How are you?
What's up is I'm great. I'm off work now, so I listen to your show after work. After I get off, I'm a line cook, so I get off work and then I can listen to the first part of it on the radio in the car, and then I keep it on my phone when I come home. But I'm a little confused by the last call, but that's okay. So I just wanted to say that it was super cool to sweep the Dodgers. It was super cool to win the series in San Diego. It was super cool to win the series in Arizona. And now we're opening up against Toronto, and it's super cool. 3-0. I don't know why I got confused. But anyway, it's 3-0. that's the final score, and they win again. And it's exciting. And I never get to go to the games. However, I do get to go on Wednesday night against the Mariners. So I'm super excited about that.
Well, that'll be fun. I think all those games around July 4th are close to sold out right now. Giants fans are going crazy. And like I said, George, if you're just joining the show, like usually fans call when they're pissed off, but tonight everybody's so euphoric and just so excited about what's going on with the Giants. It's been like full phone line since we got on tonight, full text line. It's a 10th consecutive road victory. It's the most in San Francisco history, the most since the 52 Giants. When we start like busting out stats that you go all the way back to 1952, you know you got something special going on. And with the way they played tonight, it just kind of felt like a playoff atmosphere. They're 17-6 in the month of June, which is one of their best records in any month in a long time. So it's cool to see Giants fans this excited, because usually a caller-driven show is based on negative calls, where the Niners blow a victory, or when the Warriors are struggling, or the Giants are sucking. I'll get full phone lines. But tonight, you guys have been awesome, man. All positive stuff. Everybody's fired up. This town's fired up.
Yeah, man, I agree with you 100%. Well, I don't know about all the negative calls, but I'm excited about this year, and I think it's going to be I really have a good feeling about it, and I'm excited to go to the game. And one of the things about getting to go to the game at the stadium in San Francisco, I live in the East Bay, so it's kind of a tricky commute for me. I just take BART. But anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on at that stadium. You know, there's people to watch, there's things to do. You got beautiful views, and there's a baseball game also. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited.
And a winning team now, George, too, which I think that's why the crowds have been so big. And like I said, repeating myself, 39,000 fans is great. But when you got 39,000 fans and East Coast 5 and everybody's into every single pitch and they're cheering for things to happen, not just cheering after things happen, they're almost willing things to happen, and they know that they have that power right now. It's just an incredible vibe at the ballpark. It's different than it's been, I don't know, for a long time. You guys were here in 21. I was back east. I don't know if it was like that in 2021 at the ballpark, or you have to go all the way back to the championship years. But what I'm seeing right now on the corner of 3rd and King is really special.
Well, we call it electricity, man. That's what that is. That's electricity.
It's tangible, too.
I'm going to let you go.
All right, George, thanks for calling, dude.
Thank you for... Okay, I had fun. Bye.
Everybody's like on ecstasy tonight. It's amazing. It's just all the calls all night long. Let's go to Dollar Bill, and then we're going to take a break. Dollar Bill, you're on KNBR. What's up, man?
Hey, bro. How you doing, man?
Dude, this show started. Dollar Bill, I don't know how long you've been listening, but this show started with a guy that came on last night, and he's trying to pitch his YouTube channel. And he just came on with his spiel. And after a great Giants win, I think one of the better ones of the year, I'm super excited to come on tonight. And he starts plugging his own YouTube channel, and I had to cut him off. Like last night I let him go. It was super awkward. I think his name is Brandon from Brentwood, or Gabe from Brentwood, whatever the hell his name was. And it just, the show started up with like, I fired on some guy. And usually, you guys know I'm nice to callers every single night. And then the text line, all my people came out and they had my back, like, way to handle that, FP. And then the show just turned from that to just absolute euphoria all night. Giants fans are fired up. And Dollar Bill, I know you are too.
What a difference a month or two makes. I mean, I've been listening to you from the start, man, and I love your show, obviously, and I one thing I wanted to say, because I didn't get a chance to call last night, that conversation you had with your buddy who's the analyst from the Blue Jays last night, that was just so cool to hear two buddies talk about baseball in a way that most fans can't. We don't get that. And it was just really cool to listen to. And someone who loves the game, it just was great to see that in a different perspective. So kudos to you, man. That was great.
Thanks, dude. He's one of my best friends in baseball, and he's really good at broadcasting. And I texted him earlier in the day. I said, let's just talk like we would in the dugout. Let's talk about the old times. Let's talk about the minor leagues. And it just kind of went organically wherever. And if you listen, like the last 5 minutes were about the Jays and the Giants. We just reminisced about old times and Felipe Alou and playing in the minor leagues for Felipe.
That was the best part, man.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate the kind words. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I thought it was good radio. Like, if you love baseball a little bit, that interview with Joe Siddle last night was one of my favorites of all time. Dollar Bill, thanks, man. You got anything else you want to chime in on?
Well, my question was, hey, you were talking about guys bringing up other guys. Who was the guy who brought you up, if anybody? And was there anybody that you kind of showed the ropes to?
Oh, you mean like a veteran that took me under his wing when I got called up to the big leagues?
Yeah, or vice versa with you and another rook.
Well, that's a good question, Dollar Bill. Thanks. I'll answer that. And thanks for calling, man. Thanks for waiting. You guys have all been super patient tonight. I really appreciate that. I think my rookie year in Montreal was really cool because I came up with everybody. Like, so we played in the minor leagues together. And when you get called up to the majors, you can walk into a clubhouse for your first time and you look around and you're like, oh, man, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so. They're all superstars. You get real nervous. I had the comfort level of seeing guys that I had played with that were my friends when I walked in. So it was a really friendly atmosphere because we didn't go out and sign big free agents in Montreal. Usually it was homegrown through the system. And we all had won together. We had lost together. We had drank beers together in the minor leagues. So it was super cool to see that and very comforting. But David Segui was the veteran in Montreal that kind of took me under his wing. And he played the game as hard as anybody I've ever been around. He worked as hard in the cage, in the weight room, on the field, off the field. He didn't drink. He didn't go out. And he played baseball with a certain, chip on his shoulder and a certain confidence level of nobody that I'd ever seen in the minor leagues. So I gravitated toward David Segui and just he showed me around. And then I approached the game. I thought I played hard and I thought I was cocky. This guy had a whole new level. And he taught me how to be humbly confident and not to piss people off because you were too cocky, but you have to believe in yourself. And then I kind of played that way with a chip on my shoulder my whole career, thus the name Fightin' Hydrant on Twitter that Mike Krukow gave me when I was a Giant. And then it just kind of goes as a player where you give that back to another kid that comes up. So you remember how you were broken in and who took you under their wing and said, this is what time you get to stretch. This is what time you get to the bus. This is where you sit on the bus. This is the night you pick to go out on this road trip. This isn't a night you picked out to go out on the road trip. And they teach you things on and off the field. I would say Felipe Alou, too, taught me how to be a man and how to be be accountable for everything you do as a player, not to make excuses, and how to play the game the right way. So those two guys broke me in, and I still find myself sounding like Felipe Alou to this day, whether I'm talking to my kids or talking about baseball on the radio. Maybe one of my biggest influences in life, period. I wouldn't have got to the big leagues without Felipe Alou. But then you have kids that come up, and now it's your turn to give back to the game. And I remember a guy, Brad Fulmer, got called up with the Expos, and he was 21 years old, and he was staying out too late, and he was coming hungover every day. And in one game, he was laying on the training table, and he couldn't play because he was too hungover. He was a big wrestling fan, and all the wrestlers came to Montreal, and he went out with all the WWFE, whatever the hell you call those guys are, and he stayed out too late. And he was laying on the table and he got scratched from the lineup. And I pulled him aside after and I said, bro, if you hoot with the Owls, you got to soar with the Eagles. If you're going to go out at night, you got to answer the bell. And he was kind of late to buses. He was doing things the wrong way. And then when he got scratched, he lost the whole clubhouse. Like everybody looked at him differently. When you're hungover and you went out too late and you had no self-discipline the night before, you got to find a way to get out there. Whether it's taking a shot before the game of whatever, the hair of the dog thing, and then you go out and get a couple of hits. Now you have respect to your teammates. But you can't do it every night because we police each other. This kid was a rookie, and he missed a game, which is something you can't do ever, ever, ever in the big leagues. So I took him aside right there, and I said, this is how we're going to do it. You're going to be with me for a while. You're going to do everything the way I do it, which is kind of scary when you think about it. But I just showed him how you go about it. It's called being a professional. And there's a certain way to be a professional in any walk of life, whatever your job is. It's just being a professional. And sometimes, as a kid in Montreal, which can be a crazy town, I've seen it tear people up and send you right back to AAA if you don't have any self-discipline. So I took him under my wing. But this is a really good question. And I think we all have mentors in life, right? Whatever job we have in life, whatever we do for a living, there's somebody that's done it before that shows us the ropes that we gravitate towards and makes it easy for us. And then all of a sudden, what was moving really fast slows down because now we have the rhythm, we have a routine, we have a work ethic that we gravitate to certain people. And then when we've done it for a long time, we see somebody new coming up, whatever it is, whatever job you do, whether it's being a parent too, like whatever it is, and then you try to give back. And I think that happens a lot in baseball, but it also happens a lot in life. Jacob, what are we doing? How are we doing on the clock? Let's take a break. I've been rambling too much. All right, 808 KNBR. I see all you guys there. I'm going to get to all your calls. We'll take a break. Text messages, calls coming up next on The Sports Leader.
Bro, Brock Purdy, bro, a real deal, bro. They connect with you, bro. I don't even know, bro.
Giants 3, Blue Jays nothing. 2 down, nobody on. Last of the night, the pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck it out with a high fastball up on the outside, and he strikes out the side in the 9th inning. So Camilo Doval with a very impressive save, and the Giants take game 1 and another win. 13 wins in their last 15 for the Giants as they beat the Blue Jays to start this series and this road trip 3-0.
That might be my favorite AC/DC song of all times and my favorite band of all times. We were going to do AC/DC night tonight, but the Giants won their 10th road game in a row, which is the most they've ever won in San Francisco history. The last time the Giants won 10 in a row was the 1952 New York Giants. So they're 17-6 in the month of June, a 3-0 win, and I don't know why it just felt like a really big win tonight. And I think when you talk about October baseball and what you have to do to win in the playoffs, it was the recipe tonight. It was good pitching in clutch situations. It was clutch hits by your clutch players. It was stealing a base, Tyro Estrada, when everybody knew he was going to steal a base, but he still stole it. And then you got a young catcher in Patrick Bailey that I think should get consideration for the All-Star team, along with Tyler Rogers. Tyler Rogers struck out 4 tonight, and I think he should be an All-Star too. So a lot of good vibes going on tonight. We have 10 minutes left in the show, so I'm going to blow through these phone calls. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. I refuse to do that. It's been wall-to-wall phone calls all night long. I've been here a year and a couple of weeks, and I've never seen anything like tonight. So Giants fans are excited. It's cool that you guys are calling when they win and not bitching about things. And like I say, I always have the best callers in all the Sports Talk Radio. I'll put you guys up against anybody, New York, Boston, Philadelphia, I don't care, Los Angeles. We have the best listeners, the best callers in all of radio. You guys pick me up every night. You guys make me think. They're all intelligent calls. Well, mostly intelligent calls, but you guys are amazing. Let's go to Mark in San Mateo. Mark, what's going on? Rapid fire. How you doing tonight? Is Mark there? Mark.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, bro. Go ahead.
Okay, FP, you're the man. Hey, 1986. You gotta like these kids. This is what this year's all about. You can thank Roger Craig for that. He's got his fingerprints all over this season.
Dude, that is such. I just got goosebumps when you said that. Roger Craig is. We have angels in the outfield right now with Roger Craig in heaven after what he did for this organization and all he meant to. He's a big reason why I was a Giants fan, man. That team with Robbie Thompson, Jose Uribe, Will Clark that hit off Mitch Williams up the middle at Candlestick Park. I mean, the hum babies, and hum baby was like a term we used in high school because of Roger Craig. So maybe, just maybe, this is all shaping up. Who knows what Roger's going to pull off and Angels in the outfield and the cornfields and yeah, there's a pretty good team in heaven, and he's looking down on the Giants.
Very well said, FP. I appreciate that. Have a good night.
All right, Mark, good job. And good job with the rapid fire. Steven in Sacramento, you're on KNBR. What's going on, man?
What up, FP? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Doing well. All right, I'm going to go quick. So I thought letting Gosman go was a huge mistake. We got to him tonight. I thought that was a huge statement win going on the road, going out of country. And the fact that the team has won 10 in a row on the road is amazing. And I love the youth movement. It reminds me a little bit of the 2010 team. And I say, let's effing go.
Let's effing go, Steven. Absolutely. Yeah, the Giants won another country tonight. That's how good they're going. They crossed the border, and they just took over Canada. They took over the whole country tonight. I've said that. Like when we were at the A's and we won 102 games in 2001, we didn't just beat your team. We beat your city. When the plane took off after we swept you, we saw smoke because we just beat your whole city. Craig in Arizona. Craig, you're on KNBR. What's going on, Craig?
Craig in Arizona, born in Vallejo, 1954. Hey, I don't want to say this too loud, so I'll say the Giants may be the best team in baseball.
I mean, I can't argue with that right now. With the way they're playing, they've won 13 of their last 15. They're 17-6 in the month of June. When you start winning on the road like this, that's the statement. When you go on the road and you're beating teams in hostile environments in front of, 40-something thousand tonight, now you know you got a good team.
Well, let me echo that with Hum Baby.
Hum Baby.
Part 2.
Hum Baby
That's
Part
what's
2.
going on. You got to like these kids. I went to a playoff game in 1987. We went to Sausalito for the post game and ended up at a cross-dresser bar.
That sounds like a good night.
Well, it was strange because it was October and we thought it was Halloween. But I forgive myself for doubting the brain trust of the Giants.
Craig, you know what?
Thank
that's
you
like a
for all
Tuesday
that you
night.
do.
That's like a Tuesday night for me, just saying. Like, I'll probably do that after the show tonight. I locked Craig up like a 3-2 change over there. Craig, I got to bounce, dude. Thanks for waiting. Thanks for the calls. Let's go to Lars in Pacifica. Lars, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
Hey, guys. Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
10 wins in a row, baby. It does not get better than this. As a Bay Area sports fan, you got every other sports market in the country looking at the Bay Area, looking at the Niners, looking at the Warriors, and looking at the Giants, wishing they were us. It does not get better than this. I love it when Bay Area sports are kicking butt, and it's awesome for our frickin' communities. It just helps everything, I feel like, man. It does not get better than this to be a Bay Area sports fan. That's all I got.
And to take it one step further, USA beat Canada tonight. I mean, we went into Canada, into a foreign country, and beat their ass. Yeah. All right, Lars, thanks. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. Yeah. A great win tonight. Let's go to Sam in San Francisco. Sam, you're on KNBR. What's going on?
FP, my man, what's going on? Hey, look, I just got back on Friday from D.C. I was on out there for a week, and I was thinking of you, man. Love D.C., man. It's a great city, nice people, whatever fence you swing on. And, I was thinking FP must have had it great when he was in D.C. because it's very live city, man, multicultural, young, youthful city. I just wanted to drop that. I was thinking about you, because you spent time in D.C. So
thanks, Sam.
Shout out to you for that.
Thanks, Sam. But there's no place like home, man. I've never been happier here, and I'm glad to be back in the Bay. But thanks for thinking of me on your trip. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm gonna like you and I. We talk and we're real chill. I love what you're doing, man. I hope the Giants realize that Larry Bear, the Giants community knows that you're moving. As I call it, you're moving the needle. So I really think, in my most humble opinion, the youth from Casey and Patrick and now Matos, I really honestly think they saved Gabe's job, because they're playing like we have nothing to lose. Now, I truly think, remember back in 2010 when you had Balls Out, you had a sister that called the show, and she was so adamant about, we're going to win, we're going to win, we're going to win. And I know it's first half of the season, but mark my words, this team is going to make a massive push into the playoffs. I appreciate it. That's my time. Have a great rest of your week, FP.
That's Sam. Thanks. That's the last call of the night. You just ended with a big, huge exclamation point. Great stuff from Sam. Great stuff from everybody tonight. Literally, I can't thank you guys enough for the enthusiasm, all the calls. You made my job fun tonight. It's fun every night, but even more fun tonight, interacting with you guys, the excitement, all the intelligent takes, everybody fired up about the Giants. I didn't even get to all the text messages. I can't read and do a live radio show at the same time. I'm not smart enough. So hopefully we'll get to some tomorrow night. We'll be back on after the game tomorrow. Jacob, Kyle, great job on the other side of the glass. You guys were awesome tonight. One of my favorite shows since I've been back, literally on fire all night long. And when you talk about this club, I think the reason we're all resonating with this club is that this is a hard hat lunch pail town. This is a grindy, gritty town. It's Northern California, like the coastline, like all the crap on the sidewalks. Like, we own this, and it's San Francisco. And that's why we love this team. They fight, they scrap, they claw. They're not a bunch of prima donnas, and it's not Aaron Judge on our team. It's not Carlos Correa on our team. It's a bunch of guys that just go out and win every night. And I think that's why you're so excited about this team, because they represent the region we live in. And when you have the youth and the veterans and they keep winning games, they represent us as San Franciscans, and it's really fun right now. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Thanks for all the calls. Had a blast tonight. Can't thank you guys all enough. I have the best listeners and callers in all of sports talk radio. And like I say on the way out every single night, swing hard in case you hit it on the Sports Leader.
And in case anybody was curious, the final Looney hot dog check. They sold 57,056 hot dogs tonight.
For $1 Canadian?
$1 Canadian.
And how many did we buy?
We bought not a single one. Not one.
Bro.